Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Integrity Project. Project?
That's a project.
It's a project. Project.
What's the right way to say it? Project or project?
I think it's just like tomato, tomato. I think
Is
it just
it an
depends.
American thing? Because sometimes they say
Project. You know, let's take a survey. Project or project? Well, welcome back to the Integrity Project. And I'm your host, Roy Cocciollo. I'm here with Stefano, of course.
Yes, sir.
And today's episode we're going to talk about is where are we still lying to ourselves?
Why?
Why? Well, I think first of all, parts of us always seem unworthy. And we end up telling ourselves stories that are just completely untrue. I think our past has a lot to do with it. And we have a lot of wounds as young children that we never really have healed. And we lie to ourselves thinking to say, you know what, we're okay. We lie to ourselves saying that I'm not good enough. We lie to ourselves saying I don't have enough. I don't have the resources. I don't have the money. I don't have. I think what ends up happening is we lie to ourselves because we feel that we are not abundant. We lie to ourselves because we feel that it has to come from the outside somewhere. But the truth of it is, when you have the curiosity to begin to discover who you really are as a person. And I think the biggest lie we tell ourselves is we think that if we think our ways through, if we think we're positive enough, we think the right things, we speak the right words, that our world around us is going to change.
Does it?
No.
Why?
Because in life, you don't get what you want. You don't get what you think about. You get in life of who you are. And when you become really honest with yourself on where you are at today and accept yourself for where you're at today, doesn't mean you're going to stay there. But if you can accept where you are, you know the direction you need to go. But if you're thinking to yourself, hey, I want to be here financially. I want to have $1 million saved. I want to have a house. I want to have all the cars and I want to have all these things. But deep down in your heart and in your soul, you feel like it's unattainable because it's not the person that you are. What you can say, and words are great. The words are the beginning of things. It all starts off with the word. But if you don't feel it deep in your heart, in your body, in your soul, that that's what you are, it'll never come to you. You can try to chase it down. You can try to create it with hard work. But the shortest distance between what you want and what you get is the feeling you have of who you are.
But can't you change that narrative?
Of course you can, but it takes work. And it takes true faith, but most of us think that if I just change my mindset, the way I talk to myself, right? And listen, I get it. Mindset's important. It's the beginning. It's the first step. It's the awareness. But to change that true feeling deep inside, you have to be curious enough to go and discover those painful parts. Mm-hmm. Like for me, was the deep feeling of unworthiness. I never felt like I was worthy of good things, good relationships, people who loved me. I wasn't worthy of nice things. And what ends up happening is when I got them, right, and I see them in my hand, I would self-sabotage. I would do something to throw a wrench in it to see, I'm right. Because deep down, I didn't feel like I deserved those things. That's not who I was. I was a scared little boy still. So yes, we got to stop lying to ourselves and become truthful, because when they say the truth will set you free, it's only because then you're able to see exactly where you are and exactly who you are at the moment. Doesn't mean you can't change. Doesn't mean you can't evolve. But you have to have the courage to face the actual truth.
I'm reading the notes that we have here, and I'm hearing you, and I know you for a while, but I have to ask you something off script. You attended Man on Fire, correct?
Yes, I did.
Was that a life-changing event for you? as far as your mind, body, and soul go?
Yeah, it was, because what it did, it first of all created the awareness of where I was lacking. Second of all, it gave me the tools, the support, and the accountability I needed to face those things. Because nobody wants to go to their painful part of themselves. Nobody wants to go back to that scared little boy who was either abused, abandoned, hurt, left behind, whatever you want to call it, whatever pain and whatever hurt we've had as a kid, we carry that with us. And instead of going back to there and getting back to that wounded little boy and giving him a hand and say, like, how are you really doing? How are you actually feeling? Why are you feeling these things? Let's discover where it comes from. And we keep all that emotional energy within our bodies, and it is locked. And until you can actually release those emotions and set that little boy free and take his hand as a mature masculine and walk him back into reality, it's going to be you're going to have a very difficult time creating the life that you want.
Where in your life are things looking good on the outside, but not feeling right on the inside? Because that's a big thing.
Listen, that's a big question for me. Right now, I think that there is certain financial prospects that for me look pretty good on the outside, but on the inside, I'm not even sure if it's going to work out. But then that comes back to, am I worthy enough to make the outcome that I want and I desire? And I really am working hard towards that. And you know what? I got to say that part of me that used to pretend a lot has kind of evolved in somebody who's more realistic.
But hold on, pretend in life or pretend in business?
I'm going to say my past self, years ago, I would pretend life for sure. I would pretend everything was perfectly fine. I would
So you were in denial?
Of course I was in denial.
Okay. Well, no, some people don't realize it.
No, and I at the time I didn't realize. The thing is, when you're in it, Stefano, you don't see it because you're too close to it. And I guarantee you a lot of people would talk about it. Did you see how he was or whatever? Came back. I'm sure people talked about it.
Sure.
But people liked the stories and thought it was funny. And I thought that was, part of my charm, if you want to call it. But when I came to realization of what it was actually doing to my world, it really saddened me. And I allowed myself to feel that sadness. Because if I don't allow myself to feel that sadness, then I would be tempted to do that again. Because I don't allow the emotions to run through me. Right? And when you become a person that's whole, and now you can accept all your parts, the good parts, the bad parts, and you stop lying to yourself, you're able to accept where you are, you're allowed to, you're able to acknowledge the things that you need to do and accept the work what you need to do moving forward, then everything kind of starts to change because you as a person are evolving into that higher version of yourself.
Okay.
Rather than being stuck in one side and pretending everything's okay, but you're really tethered so tightly to your past that you're not able to move forward because you're still that person and not the person you want to become.
So you've accepted who you were, but have you accepted who you currently are today?
I am growing into something that I am evolving into a human being, and I'm still growing. I'm accepting the fact that I am a piece of unfinished work.
But have you accepted your past for what it was?
Absolutely.
And are you now accepting the fact that you're evolving into something that is shaping the way that you're going to start to think moving forward?
Absolutely. That's why I'm doing this podcast. Mm-hmm. That's why I do things that are much healthier for my mind, my body, my spirit. I still want to take and do I'm gonna say self-help, but personal growth things for me is really important. I want to invest in myself. Like people want to buy cars and watches and things like that. I want to invest into myself so I can I can get to the next level. I want to become the best version of myself I possibly can. And I can't do that on my own. Nobody can. Right? You need support. You need accountability. You need somebody who's willing to understand the path you want to take.
Sure.
Right?
Because we're all flawed. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're flawed. But the thing is, you need someone to check you on that, right? Because sometimes we have to be checked by someone and say, wait a second. That is not what it's supposed to be.
Listen, iron sharpens iron. You need somebody.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's David
true?
Miller. Iron sharpens iron. Like
Iron sharpens iron?
when you sharpen a knife,
Right.
what do
Is
you
that
run it
iron
on?
though?
Well, you have the metal life sharpener. You don't have one of those?
I do. I didn't
Yeah.
know that was iron.
Iron sharpens iron.
Okay.
You need two hard things to sharpen each other.
Okay.
And at the end here, accountability with somebody who's willing to tell you the truth, to be honest with you, who doesn't give you bullshit. Put your feet to the fire and say, hey, you're the best version of yourself right now. What you're doing is wrong. What you're doing is, there's a different way to approach it. And I don't think a lot of people don't want accountability because they're afraid of what people think of them. But you need to find somebody you truly trust, who's not going to lie to you, who's not going to bullshit you, who truly has the best interest in you. And that's why I think fathers are so important with their sons. And I know that fathers can be really tough on their sons. Mothers tend to be a little bit more loving. Fathers tend to be a little bit more direct. But a lot of people are afraid to reprimand their kids and be tough on them because they're afraid they're going to take their love away from them.
Okay. It's like negotiable love.
And, well, the thing is, unconditional love comes with anything, right? So my father loved me unconditionally. Not that, listen, the things I did in my whole life that I'm proud of. Me and him had a lot of fights. I was disrespectful for my father, and he made me pay the price for that.
Sure.
Right? He didn't take that shit. He didn't care. Did it break his heart? Absolutely. Did it make him sad? Absolutely. But you know what? He knew that his job as a father is teach me right from wrong.
Sure.
Even at the cost of me hating him for a while.
Sure.
Or him even hating me for a while.
So let me ask you something. You are known on Instagram as RC Truth Academy.
Yes.
Now, there's the word truth in there. So what's the one truth that you seem to be avoiding that might cause you to change some aspect in your life? Is there anything that you feel like you're avoiding? Maybe not because it's going to change you to bad. It's just because it's going to change you, and you don't really want to change your environment right now.
You know what? There's probably a few truths in my life that I know are there.
Okay.
And I just haven't accepted them to take the action I need to, because I do believe I have a higher calling.
Sure.
Right? I started this podcast, and I know that's going to lead into something else. And for me, this is a warm up. It's a warm up for me because I want to share my knowledge, and I want to share that, in life, no one's broken, no one needs fixing. You're just undiscovered, and you need a safe place to discover it in.
If nothing changes and you keep living this way for the next 5 years, where would that lead you? See, 5 years is a long time.
5 years is not a long time.
Really now?
Listen, I'm telling you right now, like, you think about it, the end of COVID is going to be 5 years. Wow. Time goes by very quickly, and I think that if nothing changes, if I don't step into the highest version of myself in the next 5 years, then maybe I feel like I'm not ready for it. But it's definitely something I'm going to step into within the next decade. And I think that, well, not I think, and I feel and I believe that when the time comes, which is going to be very soon, everything will change for me. And I'm going to step into that version of myself because I'm called to do so. And I think that a lot of us are afraid of our higher self because it comes with bigger responsibility. And sometimes I feel like I'll let people down. That's an insecurity part of me,
that's
for
the
sure.
insecurity part. So I need you to leave me with something now in this episode. For the people out there that feel that they need to continue to do this lie, this charade, this trying to impress people, because Instagram, social media is a big culprit of that. What can you tell these people that are living a fake alternate life just to fit in?
First thing, I understand. And to let go of the identity of who you think you are compared to who you should be is probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And I also want to share the fact that the reason why you feel like you have to impress everybody is because you don't spend enough time on your own. And I look at it this way. Back in the old days, when there was less people, lots of space between them, you had a farm. And as that farmer, you grew some corn, some lettuce, some carrots, some wheat. You grew a couple of animals, right? A couple of cows, a couple of sheep, some chickens, had a couple of fresh eggs. You had a well that you hand pumped over there, and you had this tiny little farmhouse that had everything you needed there. And you really loved tending your farm. And then all of a sudden, you need to go get something that you didn't have on the farm. So you get on your horse and you ride down the road, and all of a sudden you see this grand plantation with all sorts of crazy other things that you had, and didn't have 2 heads of cattle, they had 100. And then you compared yourself to them, and then you think to yourself, well, I have nothing because this guy has so much more than me. And I think that's the way we look at life. If you spend more time on your own, seeing and appreciating everything that you already have, and you don't need anything else, and everything is there, and you're whole, and your integrity's online, and your heart is open, and your soul is full, like, why would you rob yourself of joy compared to somebody else who just because they have flashy things doesn't mean a thing? You don't know what that guy is thinking. And maybe the reason why he has so much bling and stuff is because he's trying to make up for something he's not.
You nailed it.
Right? So at the end here, look deep within. And you know what? Stop worrying about what people expect of you. Start looking at what's called of you and what you can do to serve your community, your family, yourself.
It's time for you to look deep within that camera right there and tell them exactly where they can find you.
This is the Integrity Project. You can find us on YouTube on the Integrity Project, Instagram at RC Truth Academy. Spotify as well is the Integrity Project.
Integrity Project, yep.
And also you can find me on Facebook at Roy Cocciollo.
Beautiful. And until next time.
So many handles.
It's okay. We have to be everywhere.
Until next time, thank you, Stefano. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This is Integrity Project, and I'm Roy Cocciollo.